Hey everyone, this is Ultra and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at the newly released Mafex Boba Fett from the Mandalorian. This is number 201, following number 200, which was the Mando himself. So another one of those for me super anticipated characters because I'm a huge Boba Fett fan. As you guys already know, my favorite two fictional characters of all time are Boba Fett and Captain America. So when it came to this one coming out, even though I do have a slew of Boba Fett's, this was definitely a cop, no question about it. So again, standard Mafex packaging, nothing super special. This is definitely a version I think that's kind of neat. I just think it's weird that with Book of Boba Fett now being out, let me angle this down a little bit. Book of Boba Fett being completed, that we don't have any, we only have one Book of Boba Fett. So everything's been released has been from the Mandalorian, and that's the one by SHF, which, don't get me wrong, I guess technically two if you count the Bandai movie realization version, which I will have in this video as well. I'm going to give you guys a full comparison of all the different Boba Fetts. But again, you know, standard Boba Fett comes with the little Mafex authentication or authentic deal. And in the clamshell, you get Boba, you get a head sculpt, jetpack, rifle, you know, flamethrower effect, wire, a bunch of different handstands, jetpack, rocket effect. So let's get this clamshell open. Alrighty. Now, unlike my Winter Soldier from Mafex, that came all wrapped, that came with nothing on them, not a piece of plastic at all protecting them. I figured they'd at least protect that his arm, but you know, for this guy here, he's that's one big piece of wrapping around him, I guess. So, right out the box, man, these proportions are pretty awesome. Like, because you know, Boba was a little bulky. And even here, you kind of see right here in the midsection, he does have like a kind of a thicker, less streamlined look to himself. You know, right now, the only one we have of this is the SHF, which I'll compare it later, which is good and bad. And then you have the Black Series, of course, which we'll have in this video as well. But across the board, pretty neat. Like I say, standard articulation, nothing major here. Wish this spun with the arm, but it is what it is. Bicep articulation. Looks like there's a little bit more slack on the hoses, but as always with all these Boba Fetts, you don't get much past there just because you'll end up damaging the hose. And Mafex are already kind of fragile for the most part, so I'm not going to risk that. It is double jointed elbow, so at least on this side here, you get really good range of motion. And it is bicep swivel as well, you know, double jointed knees, or that's single jointed, maybe it's single jointed, but it's just probably because of the plastic back here. But it is kind of neat how they made this sculpt look like it's baggy, and the knee folds up underneath. So that was a really cool way to do it. So I cannot complain there. I'm pretty happy with that. And then the back is a separate back plate because they like to keep it neat. So if you don't want to have that on there, have this back showing or something like that, it just looks a little bit cleaner. So let's put this guy off to the side. Take a look at what he comes with. So we're going to start off with the head sculpt here. So this is a really good Tamora Morrison head sculpt. Definitely one of the best I've seen. And I'm going to bring out this is the SHF. So I'm gonna put his arm down. I'm gonna point at his chain code. But in comparison, man, I don't know. There's aspects of both of them I like. I mean, the Mafex is definitely bigger because it's a physically larger figure. I would definitely say there's a little bit more paint. In the Mafex, the SHF is a little pinkish hue, a little too much, I think. And the paint on the face is not as great. But yeah, the Mafex is definitely better. That's definitely a better one. But I do like the SHF. Don't get me wrong, I do like this one. This is actually the head from, even though I have it on the Recovered Armor body, this is actually the Book of Boba Fett head, because the Recovered Armor head is horrible. It's literally one of the worst head sculpts I've ever seen, and that's even compared to like the Black Series, which is not that great. And speaking of Black Series, this is the Recovered Armor Black Series. So as you can see, I mean, one of those looks like Tim, and one of them does not. So, I mean, but what do you expect? I mean, it's Mafex. You know, you're looking at a $100 figure versus a $25 figure. So, or actually, I guess this Boba Fett was deluxe, so it was like $33. But you know, we know Hasbro just charges the Boba Fett tax. In this stand, he got his rocket pack here. With a separate back piece, so it just unsnaps the back and then you snap the new one on. They did not have removable ports. Looks like the ports, are these fixed in place? Oh, okay, they're even fixed. No. Yeah, I guess they are. It looks like they're fixed in place, so you just pop in the rocket effects there. I do like the SHF because it's a swap out piece, so that doesn't port in. But the good thing about these box effects, you can use this with anything. Whereas the SHF, you can only use it on the SHF. You have the knee pad replacement for the rocket effect, which is kind of neat. We'll see if I end up using that up. I'll decide, it just depends. Flamethrower. I've never used one of these before. I don't have good luck with those things staying on, and but I'll see how it goes. But that's pretty neat. The rifle. Definitely really nice. Great wash, metal brushing, stocks painted really well. I mean, it looks like Boba Fett's rifle, so no issues there. You have the rocket effect, so when he actually shot the rocket out, even though he didn't do that in this outfit, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, SHF did the same thing, so I mean, I'd rather have more than less. You've got his pistol, which is, of course, just done normal. I mean, it's painted really well. I mean, it's a small pistol. I mean, for me, this is in its holster. I don't really ever have mine displayed with that, but I'm going to try some different stuff with this one since I have quite a few. Maybe I'll just do some photos and put them in the community tab. And then this is his dart, and it's got a nice little strong wire there that goes in this gauntlet. Bunch of different sets of hands. Got your trigger fingers there. You got your pointers there. You've got your spin your pistol fingers. So that's kind of neat. You know, wish you can spin this pistol to put it back in this holster. You've got relaxed hands. And you've got his pistol gripping hands. So, sorry. So cool. I mean, definitely a ton of accessories. They always do a good job of giving you your money's worth. So I'm going to take this head off out here, and then we'll swap out real quick and let you guys see what it looks like with the. So this is him with just right out the box. And now this collar is soft. It is wired, so that's kind of neat. And so yeah, that's not bad. Oop. Yeah, that's not bad at all. I would definitely say that's a good looking Tim. And just kind of have him comparison to the SHF. And then we'll just bring in the Black Series here to round it out. So yeah, I mean, definitely not bad at all. He is bigger. I do like that. I think the SHF is a little too small, and the Black Series is probably, it's about the same size. No, it's actually a little bit shorter than SHF. Huh. Black Series typically runs a little bit bigger than those SHF, so. And then, as you guys can tell, I put the helmets back on. For the recovered armor specifically, the green is a little different. So the SHF, I think maybe the green is a little richer. I mean, these are actually pretty close. I mean, the Mafex and the SHF are pretty close. Whereas the Black Series is very olive looking, so not a big fan of that. But I mean, as far as accuracy goes, I think it's just context more than anything. And just real quick comparison. So we got him next to HF. I'll move this here, and then you've got the Book of Boba Fett, and of course, like I say, these guys are small in comparison. So I do like the size of the Mafex, but this SHF is actually pretty freaking awesome. I mean, like this look for Boba is very Jango-ish, and I do like that look. And then you have the only other version I guess is a one-off, is the Tython Boba, which is, you know, regardless of what you think about the series, this version of Boba was like easily the most kick-ass because he came out and just was like OG Boba. And then, of course, by the time he got here, he was semi-okay. And then by the time he got there, he was just completely watered down. So definitely, the Mafex has got a nice size to him. Proportions are really good. Again, no real complaints there. And then I'll bring out the Mando. So Mando here and Grogu. And I think those guys look good together. Mando is a little shorter. I don't know if that's super accurate. But yeah, I mean, I do like that look together. You know, very reminiscent of the show when they were trying to free Mix Mayfield. Or the episode when they were trying to free Mix Mayfield. And then the only other two Mafex Bobas are the Return of the Jedi Boba. And then you have the Empire Strikes Back Boba. And these guys are about the same size. So that actually, I mean, they're a little bit bigger. But that to me is a pretty good progression in the fact that they kept them pretty close. So this could actually be the youngest Boba, middle-aged Boba, and then, or slightly older Boba, and then, of course, older Boba. So you can see how, he goes from kind of thin to a little bit of chunky there. So really good situation there. So do really like that consistency in the design. And then, of course, we're going to go look at his old contracted boss. This guy, as much as people hate this, love this Vader and hate him at the same time. First of all, it's amazing. I run mine with the damaged helmet. But what I've learned is instead of playing with this cape and trying to get it straight, I just kind of keep it in this kind of windblown look like he's fighting. It's just not fussy at all because it is very fussy. I mean, wired here and wired here and wired here around the neck. It's nuts. But I mean, this guy is pretty awesome. So nice one there. And then probably the one thing I've been looking forward to is having a Boba that sits on the throne that's actually canon. So right as of now, I've been having my Black Series sit on there just because I have my other ones on my desk. But let's see how this guy sits on the throne right here, live. Now, the great thing about him versus the Black Series, he does not have plastic comma, so it actually fits pretty well. I mean, so it sits pretty well and doesn't have any of those issues. And I would definitely say, just for right out the box, man, that's not bad at all. You know, his feet are a little short, but even with the Black Series, I mean, even with the HHF, he does not sit with his feet flat. So what I'll do is I'll just scoot him up a little bit, cheat a little bit in the seat. Have him lean back, arms down. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. That's super cool. So I have him there. And then of course, hopefully we'll get a Black Series version. I mean, a Mafex version of Fennec. But I had Fennec sitting there. So that's where she kind of permanently sits all the time. I don't have a Spashka bottle, but that's good enough. And then we got his jetpack here. And his rifle standing up here. Yeah, that's pretty neat. I do like that a lot. So yeah, they did a good job with it. And I'll pull this guy out because he's freaking massive, but this is the movie realization Boba Fett. And he is quite a bit bigger than all these guys, but and of course not canon at all, but he is a really neat version, like I say, very well painted by Bandai. And of course he's the biggest of all because he's 7-inch scale, I believe. So just like kind of in comparison here. Like I said, just massively huge, but yeah, that's it. I mean, I think this is how this is gonna look for the time being. I don't know where this is gonna go. If it's gonna go on my old display, but I do like this Boba sitting on the throne with Fennec. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, as a Boba Fett completionist, I am super happy about this figure and looking forward to all he can do. But thanks again. Comment below. Thanks so much.